Hello book munchers, it's your favorite author Milena, and today we are starting a new series, Milena Learns Kanji, #learn with Milena. I am going to be going on an adventure to learn kanji, so I'd love to bring all of you alongside with me. We are going to be learning one kanji every day. For those of you who don't know what kanji are, they, alongside the kana, hiragana, and katakana, form the Japanese writing system. There will be chapters down below, so you can skip right along to the week 1 kanji. But to start off with, I'm going to be explaining some common obstacles that we're going to want to avoid. So the number one obstacle is overwhelm, because every single kanji, in addition to being a complex character, has different readings, can have different meanings, and they can join together to form compounds to form other words. So they can be complicated, and there are debates that abound over how to best go about learning and memorizing what you need to know. Originally, I started off with Remembering the Kanji by James Hasig, and the Hasig method is great for memorizing pretty much anything at all, not just a kanji. However, at least the version that I had didn't go into the readings of the kanji or the compounds that each kanji could make with other kanji. What that means is that you can certainly memorize the meanings of a large number of kanji, but you can't actually read them out loud or recognize them in verbal speech. Additionally, the book doesn't cover the kanji in the order that they usually appear on the Japanese language exams. So going through the RTK method, I found myself stalling at around 300 kanji that I knew the meanings of, but that I couldn't actually read. And I hadn't made any progress with my listening comprehension. Now, of course, the RTK method is meant to be used in conjunction with a numerous amount of other sources of information. So in this series, we are going to be putting an emphasis on recognizing words so that we gain vocabulary and start to work on our listening comprehension. Listening comprehension is the thing that is going to help us the most when we first travel or move to a new country. So we are going to be attempting a new methodology. We are going to be learning the kanji in an order that more closely resembles the way that they appear on the exams. We'll be covering one kanji per day, so 7 per week. Along with each kanji, we'll be learning one kun reading and one on reading. On readings are derived from Chinese, and kun readings are the native Japanese readings of those characters. Generally speaking, when the kanji is by itself or accompanied with hiragana or katakana, it is read with the kun reading. And when two kanjis form a compound, they are read with the on reading. Additionally, family names are usually read with the kun reading. Now, we're only going to be covering one of each, but remember that each kanji can have a multitude of on or kun readings. But again, to address overwhelm, we'll only be covering one of each. In addition to the 2 readings, we'll be covering 2 words or 2 sets of words that cover a vocabulary term using 1 word per reading. We'll also be covering stroke order, and I'll be giving you guys the dictionary indices and the classification codes, using both the dictionary Kanji and Kana by Spahn and Hadaminsky, and I'll be linking the pages of each character on Jisho, which is a great online Japanese dictionary. Now, this practice sheet that you're going to see in this video, you're going to be able to get down below in the description. So with all of that said, let's get into this week's kanji. So this is the very first kanji that we are going to be covering today. So the index number is 1, and the classification code is, as you can see up here, 2A 0.1. So what you can do with this classification code is you can type into the Google search bar kanji and then this code, and you can look up each of the kanji. Its page on Jisho will show up, as well as a multitude of other websites. So the meaning of this kanji is human being, man, or person. You can kind of remember it because it looks like a little stick figure. I'm gonna draw a little smiley face. And now we can practice the stroke order. So the left stroke is going to go first, followed by the right. And alongside these worksheets, you're also going to have this worksheet for each of the kanji available where you can continue to practice. So the on reading for this character is Jin, and our vocabulary word is America Jin, which means an American. And so we will write this out. So this is katakana, and this is our kanji. And for our kun reading, the character can be read as hito. So our vocabulary word is ano hito, which is that person. And there you go. So for our second kanji, this is number 2, and up here is our classification code 0A1.1. So the meaning of this kanji is 1, which is easy to remember because there's one line. And so we're going to practice a little. Here we go. Here are our squiggly ones. For our unreading, we have ichi, and our vocabulary word is ichi-peiji. So ichi. Pe, G. And of course, ichi-peiji means page 1 or 1 page. And for our kun reading, we have hito, and our vocabulary word is hitotsu hitotsu, which means 1 by 1. Now on to the next. This is our third kanji, and the classification code is 0A2.1. And the meaning of this kanji is 2. Again, easy to remember, 2 lines. If you've done any kind of studying of the Japanese language, you've probably already recognized the kanji that we've seen, and will continue to recognize the rest in this video. But we're starting simple. So here we go. The bottom line here is slightly longer than the top one. And here we have our squiggly 2s. And so for our own reading, we have ni, and our vocabulary word is ninin, which means 2 people. So this is actually going to be ni, accompanied by our first kanji, which, because there are 2 kanji together, remember, is going to be read with the on reading. So now we start to see that there are other readings coming into effect. Another on reading of this kanji is nin. So we will learn other readings of the kanji as we go along. So for now, we have ninin, and our kun reading is futa, and I'm still learning how to make the fu sound. So for our vocabulary word, we have futaritomo, which means both people. We have our second kanji, and then we have hiragana, futaritomo. This is our fourth kanji. The code is 0A3.1, and it means 3. There are 3 lines. This is the last of the numbers that will follow that rule, by the way. So we go from top to bottom, and the middle line is shorter than the other 2. And the on reading is san. So now you know how to count from 1 to 3. And our vocabulary word is sanin, which means 3 people. So we're counting. So can you guess the kanji that will accompany this one in this word? If you guessed nin or hito, you're right. Of course, it's nin here because it is accompanied by another kanji. Oop, that middle line was kind of wobbly. And I realize now that I have been drawing this character wrong from top to bottom. Stroke order is a thing that we must learn. There you go. And the kun reading is mitsu. In parentheses, we have the okurigana, which is going to be written in kana. And our vocabulary word is mitsuzoroi, which means a 3-piece suit. So we've got our kanji, and then we have hiragana. Now, moving on to our next kanji. Now, this is our 5th kanji. The classification code is 4C0.1. And this kanji means day or sun. It can also be used as a short form of the name of Japan. So the stroke order here goes, we go one line down, and then our second stroke is going to go across and down. Our third is going to go across in the middle, and our fourth is going to go across at the bottom. Ooh, we went over the line there a bit. And our own reading here is nichi. Our vocabulary word is ichi-nichi, which means one day. So, can you guess the kanji that comes with this one in this compound? If you guessed one or ichi, you were correct. So we draw our ichi. And here's our nichi. There we go. So our kun reading is ka, which is as a suffix, and our vocabulary word is mika, which means 3 days or the third of the month. So if you guess that we're going to put our number 3 here, you are correct, from top to bottom. And then there you go, mika. Now moving on to our next kanji. This is our 6th kanji. The code is 3S2.2 and it means 4. So stroke order here is going to go like this. So this is our first line, this is our second line, our third line is here, our fourth line is up here, and our fifth line is our line across. If you start noticing, generally speaking, what I've noticed is that stroke order tends to go in this direction, starting from the top up here and then moving downwards across. Generally speaking, if there is a line here, then that usually is drawn first, and then we move in this direction from left to right, from top to bottom. So let us continue practicing. There we go. So our unreading for this kanji is shi, and our vocabulary here is shigo ichi. Now, here we have a kanji that we haven't seen yet, but I encourage you to guess which kanji is going to show up here, considering the translation of this vocabulary word is 4 or 5 days. If you guessed go, which means 5, you were correct. So we draw our character for 4, comma, and the character that we will see next, go. Shi go ichi, 4 or 5 days. Now for our kun reading, we have yon, and our vocabulary word is yonin, which means 4 people. So now I can count up to 4, and well, technically you can count up to 5, but we'll get there soon. So here we go. Yonin, which means 4 people. And this is our finished worksheet. Now onto our last kanji for the week. This is our 7th kanji, and the code is 0A4.27, and the meaning of this kanji is 5. So you might recognize this character from the last worksheet. So you might already know the stroke order of this one. We've got our first one across, then down in a diagonal, across and down, and across at the bottom. So one more time. And the reason why stroke order is important, aside from just learning how to do things the right way, is that when you go to type on a digital keyboard and you go to draw out the character, sometimes if you don't draw it in the correct stroke order, it won't show up. So sometimes it's important to know the stroke order when you are looking up the kanji, or when you are typing them digitally, or drawing them, I suppose. So our own reading for this one is go, and our vocabulary word is gonin. So now we can count up to 5 people. Gee, I wonder which kanji accompanies this one in this compound. Our kun reading is itsu, and our vocabulary word is itsuka. Now remember that ka as a suffix is one of the readings for the kanji that means sun or day. And there you have itsuka. which means 5 days or the 5th of the month. And those are our 7 kanji. I recommend that you cover or review 1 per day and that you make flashcards for the vocabulary words. The reason why the vocabulary words are important is because they will take care of you having to remember the different readings of each kanji. With that being said, thanks for watching the video. If you like the series and want more, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any knowledge to share, leave it in the comments below so that we can all learn together. And if you are an avid reader of fantasy, remember to check out my book, Phoenix Knight's Journey to Safehold, which is available on all major book retailers online, including Amazon. It's a story about a reincarnated king and his group of knights that have to flee from the witch hunters that are chasing them, figure out what's going on with these strange monsters that are attacking them at every turn. Meanwhile, our king, Alanor, must deal with secrets that some of his family members are keeping from him. So if that sounds interesting to you, check it out in the description below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!